Hello, everyone. My name is Nekmen Obasogie, reporting from Toronto, Canada. We're here today to discuss about Nigeria, the political climate of Nigeria, and the restructuring of the country. Some of us are saying that secession is impossible in the country due to the political structure of Nigeria right now. It will be impossible for secession in the country. So restructuring will be a solution to the problems facing the country. So I have with me in the studio today Mr. Magnus Oraka and Lucky Etinosa. We are here to discuss about Nigeria. So before I will start the show, I would like my guests to introduce themselves. Give it to you, Mr. Magnus Oraka. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, my name is Magnus. First of all, am I loud and clear?
Yes, clear.
Okay, my name is Magnus Oraka. I am from Delta State, Ethiop East local government of Delta State. I am an Uroboman and strongly in support of a Nigerian system, but a system that supports the idea that people have a sense of identity, have a sense of belonging, and can control their destiny. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Lucky Etinosa, thank you. And a little bit of introduction.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
My name is Lucky Etinosa. I am from Edo State, Oriom local government area of Edo State. I'm an Edo man. So I am also here in this program to make my own contribution. I believe in a government that will work for every Nigerian, so we can all have peace and sense of identity.
Okay. So the question here is either restructuring of Nigeria or secession. What do you think will work for the country? Because right now, Nigeria as a country is practically divided along tribal lines. The leaders are divided, while the northern leaders are speaking in different voice. The southern leaders also organized their own meeting a few weeks ago demanding for restructuring of Nigeria, while the northern leaders are not demanding for restructuring of Nigeria. So the country is divided. Some group of people are also agitating for secession, while some are demanding for restructuring of Nigeria. So we are confused here. What is going on in Nigeria? Some people are saying that the country will cease to exist if we don't restructure Nigeria as soon as possible. Mr. Magnus Oraka, go ahead, sir.
Well, to be very honest with you, the question is not as easy as you put it. And anybody attempting to answer your question directly as you asked it will be making a mockery of the complexity of the topic you are asking. The truth is that in order to get a strong view of the question you've asked, is only sensible to analyze the foundation of the problem. What actually led us to where we are today? Then we can begin to answer if indeed secession is the solution or restructuring is the solution. Now, some people came together as colonial masters and they felt for purpose of convenience, they needed to amalgamate Nigeria for purpose of administrative convenience, right? And they amalgamated us together. As a people, the newfound Nigerian system, we really didn't have a problem because as at then we were operating a regional system of government. We had no problem of religious intolerance. We had no problem of nepotism. We barely had no problem of anything that we have today. Now, our problem as Nigerians actually started by the coup orchestrated by some recalcitrant army officers, basically from the current day Southeast, where they chose to annihilate 27 officers that didn't include officers from their own ethnicity. And they killed, apart from killing 27 officers, they also killed traditional rulers. Now, like you and me and the North, these are people who hold their traditional institution dearly. To kill somebody like Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, Ahmadu Bello, and a host of other traditional tools, it was tampering with the very heritage of those people who held on to their traditional institution. And to add insult upon injury, these officers brought their own officer from their own ethnic background to head the government as at the time, which was Agui Ironsi.
Yeah.
Now recall that when these atrocities were being committed, by some divine intervention, their own people suddenly were not in Nigeria, like talking about Azikiwe, the Agui Ironsi himself, and a host of Michael Okpara, and a host of top political personnel of their own ethnic extraction were not in Nigeria. So there was no record that the killings that they did affected their own ethnic personality. So therefore, it was clearly interpreted to mean that these people had an intention to establish themselves as Lord of Nigerians. So the other people, particularly the Fulani people, stood back and were waiting for an opportunity to strike, and the civil war broke out.
So do you think it was a tribalistic coup? The first coup?
Yes, of course, 100%. 100%. As at the time the coup took place, it is on record, and those who lived up to the time will tell you that these same people who decided to carry this tribalistic coup already had in place a system that the Fulanis are currently operating today, where they were the ones who occupied all the civil service, all the parastatals, all the choice job. Everything about Nigeria was basically controlled by these people who decided to carry out this coup. Now, they justified this scenario as having their people thriving better in a competitive environment. So the northern part felt everything about their existence was in the control of people who didn't share in their own traditional background or ethnic background. So they felt it was bad. So the coup, the Agui Ironsi coup, was like an occurrence that brought the question into a bigger light. And that was the beginning, the genesis of the animosity between the Igbo man and the Fulani man.
So that was the genesis. It was like the beginning of the tribal tension. It's something that the tribal tension.
Beautiful. Now you see why I said the question you asked. It's not a question you can just answer in 2 seconds and say I've answered you. You must take it from the genesis and bring it to the current day and see why we are where we are. Sorry, sometimes I like being jocular, but you cannot see. I just try to take it and bring us to where we are today. You understand me? Yes. So after the Agui Ironsi coup, you could see that there were coups and counter coups and counter coups. All the coups that took place was all in purpose to re-establish the supremacy of the northern hegemony. You get me? Every coup that took place after the Agui Ironsi coup was to establish the northern hegemony. But then the northerners also overplayed it, because at a point, those that they brought to themselves, like the Yorubas, the Middle Belt, the South, the current day South, also saw that everything that was played out in an attempt to show animosity to the agenda of the Igbo coup was also beginning to show that while we help you to bring down one enemy, we are also becoming your victim. Now you are beginning to see where the complication is already beginning to start. Now, as these coups and counter coups go on, don't forget the advent of the oil boom now came. As the oil boom came, it came at a point where the northerners were already in charge of Nigerian political system. And being in charge of Nigerian political system saw that they can also be in charge of your wealth because they dictate the power. So they started from, I think then the oil producing area were controlling 85, whereas the federal government were controlling 15. Then later it started going down until today we have the oil producers controlling 13%, whereas Nigeria controls 87%. Now the 30% derivation is another bane. I will get to your question. Just I will try to summarize everything in the next 3 or 4 minutes. So the 13% derivation, it's not in the control of the people of the Niger Delta region or the oil producing region. It's in the control of a very few people, including the north. That 30% derivation is not only the north that is eating it, it includes the north, which even eating they are even eating a bigger chunk of because they are in power.
The 13% goes to only the region where the oil is coming from, or is spread across the country as a whole.
No, it's spread only to the oil producing area. Now, because a few people in that region wants to eat that oil alone, and the north is in power, they tell that, okay, in order that we allow you to eat this money alone, we'll also take a percentage from this 13% so that you cannot eat it for yourself. That is why today you see, because in truth, 13% oil derivation from the Nigerian wealth is enough to turn the whole of the Niger Delta region into Dubai.
Yes, exactly. It was little
but
London.
Because the money is being eaten by a few people, that is why we have where we are today. Now, before we started this program, I told you that Nigeria is like a jungle where animals fight for who have the right to mate with the harem. It's not like human beings where if you are my wife, nobody dares to come and touch you because everybody knows that you are my wife. In the animal kingdom, it's not like that. If somebody likes you and wants to have the right to mate with you, he will come and fight me. If I'm able to defeat the person, I continue mating with you. If the person is able to defeat me, he mates with you. That was what Nigeria now became after the history I gave to you. So Nigeria now metamorphosed into a point whereby the 3 major tribes now felt they are the ones who decide where Nigerians should go. The rest of us who are assumed as minorities just have to sit back and watch and see where the political pendulum swings. Now, the Northerners, as smart as they are, they felt okay on their own, because the truth, the Igbo tribes are far more in population than the Fulanis. The Igbos are even far more in population than the Yorubas. But that is left to debate. It's my own perspective anyway. Now, the Fulanis know that they cannot take on the Igbos on their own. So they had to align with the Yorubas. So they now have a successful alliance, and they have kicked the Igbos out of the political permutation. You get me? Now, I don't want to go into the Civil War, because the Civil War in itself is another whole volume of book. So we will not go there. But the Civil War left something that is indelible, that is retrogressively indelible in the minds of an average Igbo man. Even though Gowon came and said there was no victor, no vanquished, but the truth is that the war left. To be vanquished means to be humiliated. The Civil War left an indelible mark of humiliation in every Igbo man, and that humiliation still lives with the Igbo man till tomorrow, till this moment as we speak. They are still suffering for the humiliation of that Civil War. So now, because the Northerners now gained power right from Babangida, they felt they needed to restructure Nigeria in such a way that gives them the opportunity to continue to have that political power, that political edge above everybody, which gave rise to the 1999 Constitution. And to make the 1999 Constitution work very perfectly, such that anyhow you operate it, whether you operate it from chapter 1 or you operate it from chapter 20, at the end of the day, you find out that whatever policies you take, the North can always subvert it to the interests of the North. You understand me? Then to further cement to further cement the retrogressiveness of the 1999 Constitution, they ensure that they create what we now have of the six political geographic, geopolitical zones.
Yeah.
Now the six geopolitical.
Is this 6 or 4?
It's six geopolitical zone. The sixth geopolitical zone was a brilliant strategy to ensure that the Igbo man remains politically irrelevant in Nigeria. And if you're an Igbo man, you are watching this program, you should listen rather than fill your heart with too much emotion and be seeing who is abusing Igbo. You should watch and listen and learn. That sixth geopolitical zone was a brilliant master plan to ensure that the Igbos never had any political relevance in Nigeria. And the Igbos are now realizing that in Nigeria as it is, the permutation, by any way you look at it, does not support the Igbo in politics. And they now know it. This is why they now say, well, if in Nigeria we are not going to get any political relevance, it's only good that we leave Nigeria. We are not interested in this Nigeria again. Because one of the things that the sixth geopolitical zone did was that they carved out that small region and gave them 5 states and say that is Southeast. When indeed, by every geographical compass, that is hilariously ridiculous to say that that place is a region. It is ridiculous. Today now, to the mind of an Igbo man, when you say Southeast, it automatically means Igbo. That's what it is. But in truth, so that is it. Now, the South region are people who I hope you are following the trend and you are seeing that I hope you are following the trend and you are seeing that I'm making connection to your question eventually.
Yes, I understand that.
Now the South people are now a people who see that the Igbos, based on their population, not based on their geographical size, based on their population and their attitude. And this attitude has been there right from before the Civil War, during the Civil War, and after the Civil War, until present day. And what is this attitude we are talking about? The attitude of contempt and indignation of those they perceive as minorities. They see everybody around them as not socially equipped to measure up with the type of assumed personalities that most Igbos have. Therefore, this led to the South people seeing them as a potential threat and therefore don't want to have anything to do with them. You understand me? That spells the animosity between the South and the assumed Igbo. I don't like calling the Igbo South is because they really don't deserve to be given a region. You understand me? So
why they don't deserve to be given a region? Why do you think they don't deserve to be given a region?
Now because in truth, the geographical camp in a geographical compass, what we truly have is southeast, southwest, northwest, and northeast. We have 4 cardinal points, four geographical points. You understand me? Now I wouldn't want to come to that because those who don't want to be seen as Southeast will say that I've been speaking well now. Now I want to spoil matter with the talk while they talk. You understand me? But in truth, if we really want to ascribe a place called Southeast, it is not that small place that it should be Southeast. There's a reason why they said 6. Yeah, there's a reason why they say 6 geopolitical zone. Because as at the time that they wanted to create 6 geopolitical zone, those minorities that were around Igbos quickly met, is it Abacha or Babangida? I don't know who created that, and said that, look, if you lump us with these people, they will control us. And they will. That was why they now carved them out and say, okay, you are Southeast. And the rest of the people who are minorities, they gave them their own region because of the fear of domination from the Igbos, if I may ask. Because like I told you, we must say these things the way they are. So that is that. Then the Southwest to me, I think they are the classy people. Before now, I was sold into this idea that they are tribalistic, they are this, they are that. No, I don't really think they are. They've been playing politics as politics should be played. Politics is a game of interest. What is good for a region, that is what you go to. Whoever comes to them and assure them that whatever political policies, whatever political geometry you are bringing into your regime, if it's going to favor the Yoruba people, they are going to support you. But over the years, the Igbos have refused to see the Yorubas as a political ally, which is why, since you don't consider them as a political ally, okay, fine, they won't support you. And to me, they've been the one playing politics as far as I know. Then when you come to the Middle Belt, I've seen them as people before now, if not recently, where their villages have been rampage and a lot of their people are being killed. The Sada Kaduna massacre, Plateau massacre, Mubi massacre, Adama massacre. You know, before now they've been comfortable with the fact that they are Northerners and the Fulanis are their senior brothers. That is the mentality that was sold into them. But they are now realizing that this ungodly marriage is not suitable enough because it is at the expense of losing their land. It is at the expense of losing their brothers to the sword of the Fulani man. And therefore, they too are now seeing that a union between them and the oligarchic north is unfavorable to them. And therefore, they are looking for any means possible to find a Nigeria that dissociates them with the oligarchic north. Which brings me to the far north. Now, I've touched about the 5 other political zones, that is the southeast, south-south, southwest, and north central. Now, the northwest and northeast, as far as I'm concerned, they are one and the same thing. The way they divide it in such a way that to you, the southerner, to you, the middle belter, it makes it look as if they are 2 different regions. But in truth, in ideology and tradition and culture, they are all the same thing. You understand me? Now, the whole idea of creating the northwest and northeast is just to enhance what I call the perceptory numbers. Perceptory numbers in the sense that they just flash these numbers to you that they have more local government, they have more population, they have more everything. And because of that, when there's a national cake, based on the fact that they have larger land mass, larger population, larger everything, they should get more share, since Nigeria is one. So the core north, the oligarchic north, has been living a lie for a very, very long time. And that lie, we, the other regions of the country, have helped to fertilize this lie. The lie that they are more in population. Like I said, if they are more in population, why do they use kids to vote? Why do they invite their brothers abroad to come and vote? I live in the north. Every lie, everything they say about the north having more population is a huge lie. Because I can tell that here in the north, you can travel for 100 kilometers and not meet one single civilization. You just see expanse of land with no people. Whereas in our own south, you can hardly travel 45 kilometers without meeting on that village. It's not possible. So how do you say?
So they have the land. Probably they have the land mask where they don't really have a habitat.
When you have land mass and everywhere is desert with very small villages, you can't claim to have more population. When Evi Edna sang 1 kilometer meets another language, Igoma, 1 kilometer meets another language, she knows what she was saying. Then when you come to a place where you say 1 kilometer meets a desert, 1 kilometer meets another desert, and you say the place you meet desert is more populated than the place you meet 1 kilometer meets another language. It's a lie. And our timidity, we have been too timid and too ignorant and too greedy and too selfish and too preoccupied in fighting one another to see the lie that the oligarchic north is selling to us. Now, to answer your question, do we need to separate or do we need to come together? In truth, if it were possible to separate, I would tell you we need to separate. If it were possible, please, if it were possible to separate, I would tell you, because the truth is that we have 2 basic regions that are complicating the Nigerian system. You don't know it, I don't know it, but as there's a war, an unspoken war between the Fulani hegemony and the Biafran nation. the Biafra nation sees themselves as, when I say Biafra nation, those who are protagonists, which are mostly the Igbo nations, they see themselves as being shortchanged by the Fulani hegemony. And in recent time, they realize that Nigeria will not give them a chance to become Lord of the Rings. So let them pack the part of it they can take away with those they believe they can take with them, which is me and you, the Edo, the Robos, and those small. Let them take them away, and then they become the lean with a supreme leader in the person of Nnamdi Kanu that will rule over everybody. Now, the truth is that the United Nations cannot endorse an African country splitting into 3 or splitting into 4. The only African nation that the United Nations has supported to separate was Sudan, and that was a terrible experiment. Today, the same Southern Sudan, which says that it will get a better life by freeing itself from the bigger Sudan. Today, there is more quarrel, there is more chaos, there's even more killings in the same Southern Sudan, which believed that if they separate from the bigger Sudan, it will be heaven. There's more killings there right now as we speak.
Right now, even though they're separated, you see.
Yes. Yeah. Now the bigger Sudan that they claim was oppressing them, there is peace there. So the same thing, I believe that if today, like the Biafra nation today, if they get the Biafra today, even if it's a hegemonic Biafra where all Igbos are the one, they will still fight. They will still fight and kill themselves.
Who are going to be the leaders? Sir,
yeah, they will first of all fight for leaders.
Let me go to Lucky Etinosa, and then I'll come back to you about this question about restructuring of Nigeria or secession. What do you think would be?
So sorry. I took your time because.
But you did a summary. I like the history because
the question is not. The question it's not a question you can just answer like that and say, okay, I know. It's a complicated question.
I understand you, sir. I understand the way you analyze the history because they said knowing the history will help to shape the present and the future. So you summarize the history why Nigeria is the way it is today. You understand?
Yes.
Something happened. It's a journey from independence to today, why Nigeria is practically divided along tribal lines, and you explain clearly to us. I appreciate the history and everything, especially for those who really don't know the history of Nigeria. So in order to understand this current situation, you have to go back to history. Thank you. Mr. Lucky Etinosa, go ahead. Restructuring of Nigeria or secession. What do you think would be the solution to the current situation of Nigeria right now?
Thank you very much for the question. So I strongly agree with my brother here, Magnus Oraka, that this question is not just something we can just jump into. But however, I will tell you, if it is possible for we to restructure the country under this circumstance that we find ourselves, or the situation which we are witnessing currently in Nigeria, I think it will be the best for every one of us. Only if we are willing to go back to look at history. And that will only pave a way for us to reason properly and do the needful before everything, maybe if it's not taken, as some people are saying, it may slip out of hand. And we will end up, attacking ourselves. Currently, people are really hungry. People are frustrated. And they are weary of the entire situation. I would like to throw a little thing, additional something to what our brother just said, Magnus, about the brief of the history. Originally, when Nigeria was created, indeed, it was for the convenience of the colonial masters. But before the independence anyway, and as some of the Satana people like late Anthony Enaro of blessed memory, as he was asking for the independence of the country, the differences, ethnic struggle and strife, it was already there. You understand me? So the Northerners were already complaining. If you look at Amadou Bello, some of his documentation, they were already complaining. You understand me? Believing that people are encroaching into their own territory from the south. And immediately after that independence, they were really worried. The Northerners were not ready for one Nigeria, particularly the Fulani. they want to take their people away. So in the process, that is why from the beginning, you see the Igbos, the Yorubas, and most especially, this one will say, you betray me, this one, you betray me. Nobody really knows exactly what happened. So it was in the process of, trying to make sure we put Nigeria together. These people agree on Wazobia. And the Wazobia was the seed of marginalization. You get what I'm saying?
The harem thing I was talking about.
Yeah, so of that marginalization, which people don't want to agree upon. However, it is that Wazobia that has faced woefully that is making a lot of people today to be calling for the division of the country. Because now they are now also in the line of being marginalized. You understand me? So they can no longer have a space in that political arena that was arranged on the line of Wazobia or something. So let's be very, very careful. We, the Satana, whether Igbo, whether Edo, whether Urobo, whether Ijo, the situation on ground is very complex. We should look at Southern Sudan so that we don't end up asking for one thing and end up killing ourselves. So the only thing that can settle or that can satisfy us is restructuring. The Fulani of the country. So the Fulani are very clever people. They know politics based on their religion, based on their understanding. But we consider them to be people that doesn't have knowledge. How were they able to create Wazobia? The Fulani make it clear to them. My people are not educated. So now if we want to hire people, we will hire all your people to come and work for all the we occupy everywhere. We can't create jobs for our people. They are just nomadic people. You get what I'm saying? So when they presented before them, all of them agree, okay, if you are from the northern part of Nigeria, if you score 20% out of 100, we will merge you with someone that scored 50 from the south. All these things were all arrangements. You understand me? In order to convince them to remain in Nigeria. Because that is why they were rejecting the independence in the first case. They say, okay, you Satana, go and do your own. When you finish, maybe they will ask. So inviting them into this union, and the error of the first coup was a very huge catastrophe. It divided everybody. What similarity do I have with a Fulani man and a dog? Nothing. But if you want to check me with an Igbo man, you have a lot of similarity. If you want to check me with a Yoruba man, if you want to check an Igbo man with a middle belt, you see a lot of similarity. I'm just telling you the way they do things and culture. But it is very unfortunate that coup saw the middle belt to believe, to see those Fulani as their brothers. And Fulani being very skillful, after that coup, a Christian took power. After the coup, Agui was also a Christian from the south. Because the mind of these people of the middle belt has been provoked. You understand me? Because sometimes in Benin, there is a parable we make. We say, oh, that means you can be angry because of the treatment of another person. So that anger led the middle belt people to lack that complete trust for the Igbo. And this is how they merged seriously with the Northerners. Now, in the second coup, when they were planning this second coup, if you check the names of people that were involved, that the coup that took Aguye away, you will not see any single Fulani there. The Fulani were not involved. And these guys were Christians. So when people are bringing religion, something different on ideology into it, they should be careful. Who were these guys? Were they really with the Fulani ideology? The answer is no. I will mention some few names. Gowon was a Christian. TJ Danjuma, Christian. Theophilus, Jeremiah Oseni, he was a Christian. Most of these guys that were involved in this something. So when Gowon picked power, a Christian picked power in the north. Not the same Fulani. They were so quiet. And why they were calculating. So the division among us, why am I trying to bring our memory back? That we should be very careful of the division among us. We shouldn't be underestimating it. They have a chance to turn us against ourselves, and Fulani will just achieve what they want. So that is the real worry I'm having. The thing that really worried me most when I look at the way things are going. So they allowed the Christians to rule for good 9 years. You get what I'm saying? Their people were not really there, but while they were partially preparing, but in the gets to Babangida town, from Babangida tenure to this tenure, that is where we find ourselves in this situation, like what Magnus said. So the country is already in their hand. They are benefited based on their own ideology of supremacy. So now, if you are telling them you want us to restructure, it's like there are chances for we to pull out. If the restructuring peradventure failed, or we are not satisfied, or when we continue to dwell in the past, trying to take vengeance about how they have mismanaged the country, we may no longer.
My question there, I'm sorry about that. My question there is that if the Northerners are not willing to restructure the country, some people are saying that this country, Nigeria, will cease to exist if we don't restructure as soon as possible. But with
Can
the
I
political
answer that?
arrangement of the country right now, it seems that the Northerners don't care about restructuring of the country. And if you look at the insecurity in the country, affects the northern region of Nigeria more than the south. But we don't see the leader demanding for restructuring of the country all that much. Go ahead, sir.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Let me just quickly throw something here.
Okay.
First of all, the question we have to ask ourselves. Since we entered this democracy, before the transition from the military rule to this to Basajo, let me just go straight. They wrote a constitution and they gave it to somebody from the south. He ruled for 8 years. We did not check this constitution and sit down and decide to take a decision to revisit this constitution and change things, and make things that will favor the whole country. Okay, their brother came in, ruling for a year and some months, he died. Then someone from Safa, the most marginalized region, became a president for good 6 years. They never talk of restructuring. And we were having a lot of problems, economic insecurity. Nothing has been working well. Although currently it is very, very, if you want to measure it, the proportion of what is going on now is totally unbearable. The killing is too much. So when you are telling these people that we need restructuring, it is very difficult for them to understand. It's like you are disturbing their brother not to rule.
Exactly. That's what they said. You are right. The NSAS protest was constructed as something that is posing threat to the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari. The northern leaders, the 19 northern leaders at that time during the NSAS protest.
That is almost like what my brother said, survival of the fittest, or like a jungle. So now it is their turn. You are not disturbing them. So these are the reasons why they don't bite into the idea. So it's very complex. But however, the Satanists, or those who believe that the best thing for our country to be restructured, they are the ones that are doing the needful. But if it were also possible for us, the Satanists, to unite as one, like what he said before, alliance between Igbo and the rest people, then they will understand that we are serious. So because of this division among us, particularly the South currently and the Southeast, is a very, very huge advantage for them to hold on to what they believe.
Okay, let's go to Austin now. Austin Osawaro just joined us from Europe. Hello, Austin.
Hello, thank you very much for having me in your program.
Thanks for joining. We are currently discussing about the need to restructure Nigeria. Is it restructuring or secession we want in the country right now? Because if we want secession, there are many groups agitating for secession in the country. The country is going to be divided to how many parts? Do you think that will work? Do you think that will be possible in Nigeria with the political arrangement of the country right now? Do we need restructuring or secession? That is the question. What do you think will be the solution to the problems facing Nigeria as a country?
In Nigeria today, we have 36 states. Abuja, if you add Abuja, we'll make it 37. Even if every state decide to go on its own, and we did not come together to also discuss the state, maybe each state as a country, even like our state, let me use our state as a case study, Edo State, and we did not also come together on the table to also discuss on how things should be, there will also be a very big problem. Because why? Nigeria is not a country, or even Edo State is not a state where you say it's just one language, one ethnic group, or one religion. For people to coexist, they need to sit on the round table to make laws and discuss on how things are going to work. That's why if you see in different parts of even where you stay and where I stay here now, you see that different regions, there are some laws that are applicable in some region. If you go to another region, that same law doesn't stand. Because why? The people, you make laws for the people. Like in the north now, you have them where they are talking about the Sharia law, which is totally not in line with our constitution, the 1999 Nigeria constitution. But this thing is working for them. But when it comes to the south and you're trying to implement some things, you see them over there crying. So for us to be able to work as a people, we must come together on a round table, agree, discuss things, make laws, and also come to an agreement. And that's why you see, do you know why the North are so scared of everything? While we're talking about they want to do this and don't do that. The major poverty, when we call Nigeria, when we're talking about poverty in Nigeria to a day, almost 90% of the poverty is in the North. Almost 90%, because why? And this they so brainwash their people that they don't go to school, they don't learn anything. That if they decide to be on their own, the youth might feed on them. You know, when people go so hungry for so long, if you are not careful, the time is going to come where they are going to start feeding on the people that have oppressed them for too long. That's one of their major fear, and that's why they are kicking against the Western education, because they don't want anything that will expose their people to knowledge, because you know the biggest tool in the hand of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed.
Yes.
And for them to keep these people and be able to keep manipulating them, they try not to expose them to education, try not to let them, and that's why you see in Nigeria to today, you know, we don't longer do history again at school. Even for those that go to school, no history again at school curriculum. Because if we that's why if you look around today, you see a lot of Nigerians youth to today do not know anything about Nigeria. They know nothing about our history. Because if a lot of them know a lot of things, I don't think a lot of them would have been shouting in 2015, say Buhari, with everything that happened in between 1983 to 1985, because they don't know. And the people that does not know where they are coming from will never know where they are going. That's one of our biggest problem as Nigeria. And I don't really blame the North. Sincerely speaking, I'll tell you, I don't really blame the North. My brother Lucky knows I just explained. The biggest challenge we have, we Southerners, is our so-called leaders from the South.
Yes.
When they want to make use, you see the North, they are so smart that when they want to make use of anybody, they use us, we from the South. If you look whatever we are doing today, who is the president? It was not Femi Adesina, it's Santana that said on national TV about 2 years ago when the Fulani were invading different parts of Nigeria, killing people and taking over their land. He said, and I quote, "Is it not better for people to surrender their ancestral land than for them to be killed?" Who said that? A Santana, not a Northerner. So until we, the South, stop electing people with no integrity, people who doesn't have this common sense to keep representing us, until we stop all this nonsense, you see a lot of these things wouldn't change. The North is not really our problem. It is some of the leaders from among us,
yes,
who only care about themselves and not our interest. Have you not seen when the North want to talk about something? They don't care about their political parties. They don't even care about their religion. They come together and talk as an entity. That's why it's so easy for them to come together and do whatever thing they want to do. But when we South want to do something, it is people among us that also go out to sell out just because they just want to have personal interest and people to make whatever they want to make. The only way for Nigeria out, if we want to be able to get it right, it is not the secession, no. It is restructuring. Because even if we say we want to depart, the Igbos want to go on their own, the South want to go on their own, there will still be a lot of problem, because we are not the people, we are different people. You see, for you, even in Edo State, for you to live with an Ishan person, you as an Edo person, if you don't discuss to come together to have a common agreement, you have a lot of problem. because the person also feel marginalized. What is the problem? People are fighting for equality, and for there to be equality, there needs to be a common law that is applicable to all. Where somebody don't come and feed on me because I'm the one that have this. I'll be the one sustaining the country. Where they do not bring anything to the copper. It doesn't work that way. Monkey can be working and babu they chop. It doesn't work.
Also, what you just said now, just remind me of what happened a few weeks ago when the certain leaders organized a meeting inviting President Muhammadu Buhari the first time. He didn't show up. Then they organized the meeting the second time, and they were demanding for restructuring of Nigeria, and they were not firm in their demand.
You see, you don't demand for such a thing.
I don't see any seriousness in them when they were demanding for restructuring of Nigeria. The certain leaders are not serious because they are being used by the northern leaders who are running the country right now. We can't deny that. It's very obvious that the northern leaders are running Nigeria right now, and the certain leaders seems to be submissive to them because the corruption embedded in the system. I say, oh, they don't want to speak out. If we want to restructure Nigeria, it should be through the certain leaders uniting and demanding for restructuring of the country. Ordinary, you saw what happened during the NSAS protest, that they used their machineries and their thugs and hoodlums to attack legitimate protesters. The NSAS protest was not successful because of the political leaders in the country. You understand? If only the youth or the citizens to protest for the restructuring of Nigeria, I'm telling you, the northern leaders are going to use all these hoodlums and attack them, use their military to attack the protesters, and they would not succeed. So the only way we can restructure Nigeria is through the leaders in the system who can mobilize against the injustice going on in the country. But we don't see any seriousness in them. NSAS protests will not commence in Nigeria. They won't allow that. The second wave of NSAS protests, they ensure that they stop them immediately.
It can happen. It can happen again. But did you know the most funny thing? You know what is so funny thing? When it happened the first time,
Lekki Tollgate, what happened today?
When it happened the first time, it wasn't planned. There's one thing about revolution, and there's one thing about some of these things. When it want to happen, it is not planned. Because what you can't have a single leader. See, Nigeria is gradually moving to a state. Don't you know that NSAS protest created a whole lot of fear in the minds of even some of the leaders from the south? A lot of them are afraid. They know that, see, their biggest fear is the unity of the youth. I'm not expecting anything different from the southern leaders or from leaders of Nigeria. The only way out is the youth, because all of them that you are seeing now, they are so corrupt that the whole thing is not in their DNA, that they don't even care. They don't have human sympathy anymore. So if we must get it right, it is people like youth. The only way for Nigeria is the youth. If the youth now gets to the street and a lot of things start going on, maybe external body, a lot of people now start coming in. If we are expecting them to say the presidency or not to agree for them to come on the round table,
the Northerners are too bloody. They are too bloody. It's the same thing that happened.
Can I say something now?
Yes, you will say something, sir. Let me just quickly finish. I'll pass it to you. I was even thinking about doing that. Okay. What happened during the first coup when they carried out this coup that led to the death of some prominent political leaders, like what Uraka just summarized before? But the northern leaders and the northerners, the way they reacted, persecuting Igbos in the northern region of Nigeria, shows how they are very bloody and their sense of intolerance in the country. So the northerners are too bloody, and the same thing happened during the NSAS protests, that they set their hoodlums to be killing legitimate protesters in the streets, and they also sent the military to open fire on protesters at Lekki Tollgate. So the northerners, as far as they are in power right now, they are too bloody. They won't tolerate any NSAS protest in the country. I guarantee you. Go ahead, Mr. Uraka. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, Mr. Austin Osawaru, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
First and foremost, when I see a lot of our brothers trying to delve into the issues of the North and then using your academic disposition to try to analyze the North, sometimes I begin to wonder, not that I claim to know too much about the North, but I've spent 54 years in the North. Not just in the North. I've lived in Kaduna, Katsina, not driving past, stayed. 54 years I've been in this place, so I know them very well. Let me tell you why restructuring is possible. Why restructuring is possible. It is not the North that is preventing restructuring. It is we, the Southerners, that are preventing restructuring. And I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
First and foremost, the North operates what we call an oligarchic system, where they believe that certain class of people are born to be rich, while certain class of people are born to be poor. Those who are born to be poor agree that this is their destiny, this is their fate, this is who they are. As a matter of fact, they will even kill you to defend that place that they are. That is why here over the North, you hear statements like Allah yebaka kabamu. That means God should give to you so that you can give to me. The mind frame of somebody who emits such a word that says God should give Mr. Austin so that Austin can give to me, it simply means that I have no understanding that I can one day be in a place where I will give to Austin. You see the mind frame here. Now, the North, they are not as scary or as bloody or as intimidating as they appear to look. Like my sister said, they are only capitalizing on the false narrative that they have sent to you, and you have absorbed this narrative and agreed that this narrative is true. For instance, they tell you they are more in population than you, and you agree. You agree that they have more populations than you. Like before Mr. Austin came, I told them that if the North is more populated than the South, why is it that during elections you use underage? You invite people from Niger and Chad to swell your population. If you are more in population, then you don't need to cheat. You just allow your population to play under a fair ground, and then you win. Since politics is a game of number. Now they've been able to sell this narrative that there are more Muslims than Christians in Nigeria, which is also false. That Christians are 3 times the population of the Muslims. When the election of Goodluck Jonathan came, you can see for everyone, because it was purely a religious vote, for every one Muslim vote, we had 2 Christian votes. For that not to occur again, that is why you see they are bringing people from outside the country, children to vote and all of that. What we need to do as Southerners to ensure that we need restructuring is because we are failing to use our strength. And what is our strength? Last I checked, they said, he who plays the piper dictates the tune. We own the wealth. We are the one feeding the nation. Is it really that difficult for Southerners to come together? Hey, you Northerners, you have nothing. You are poor people. If you fail to play ball, stop taking our wealth. We hold our wealth back and say that we're not going to allow you to share wealth again if you don't do this country as we want it. I will tell you a very casual example that happened that makes this possible. During the Niger Delta Avengers, when the Niger Delta Avengers were blowing up pipe and blowing up oil installation, I was living in North here. They were saying that Buhari is going to finish them. Buhari is going to eliminate all of them. Eventually, when Buhari saw that the bombing of pipe and everything was crippling the nation, and while the nation was crippling, we Southerners were eating. It wasn't affecting us. They had no choice than to come down and negotiate with the Avengers. But as usual, they know our weakness. Our weakness is greed. All they needed to do is to name our price, because our greed always have a price. They will name our price, and we we just sell out like that. That's how. So we keep having this notion that we have to wait for the North to agree for us to restructure before we restructure. Who told you so? So long as we keep believing that we have to wait for the North to agree for restructuring, we'll be here waiting for the next 20 years.
Yes,
For us, because
yes.
how will they not agree for restructuring when you already have a system that benefits them?
Exactly.
You are saying that they are in a system that they still remain poorest. Did they tell you that the people they tell you that they are complaining to be poor? This is who they are. They already believe that poverty is their life. So if you are thinking that they should have the sense to use the poverty state that they are to demand restructuring, that is because you are westernized. Your intellectuality revolves around normalcy, so you can think like that. But to them, it's not okay. As bad as this Buhari government is, there are people who are willing to die to make him remain for the next 8 years because they believe in the concept of poverty. That is how God has created them. That is who they want to be. So it is not left for us, we the Southerners that want better life, that want our places to be like Dubai, to say, okay, hey, we are the ones feeding these Northerners that are ruling us. We are the ones feeding these Northerners that are controlling the army. So, okay, look, we want you to stop oil installation close. Set up the Niger Delta. Go and bob the pipe. Let the well stop flowing. Let's come down and talk. If you want this well to flow, let us arrange this country. It's simple. Everything they are doing is just like, how do I put it? It's called misdirection. It's called intimidation. They really have nothing. They are a toothless dogs. They are willing to sacrifice a few lives just to make their demands known. You understand me? And so long as we keep seeing ourselves from this ethnic, so long as we keep having these ethnic proclivities, the Edoman wants to defend his culture, the Yoruba wants to defend his Yoruba culture, the Igbo wants to dominate. Everybody, we will keep staying here and shouting and shouting and shouting. We must find a way, as Southerners, even as recalcitrant as some of these Igbos are. I decided to use some of these Igbos because of their recalcitrant IPOB and Nnamdi Kanu leader. As bad as they are, we still need them. We still need them. All we need to do is somehow, though I think it's impossible, but somehow make them see that, look, the idea of pursuing an Igbo agenda strictly for Igbo people, I think it's time it stops. For once, try to think outside Igbo agenda. Try to include people. Try to include an agenda that's beneficial to all. So that we can, when we do, the day the Hausa man sees that the Igbos and their neighbors are now saying one song,
speaking one voice.
That is the end of,
yes.
That is the end of. But the problem is that will the Igbo man agree to come down his high horse and see himself as equal as those they perceive as minorities, so that we have a voice that presupposes that we are speaking from an equal platform? Is it possible? The answer is no. They are incapable of seeing themselves as that. That is the complexity of our problem. So how do we solve the problem? Because the truth is that the force of Edo people and their Delta alone cannot force the governor, the North, to bow down. That was why when you see the governors, last time the South governors invited the North for dialogue, the North didn't come because to them it's an insult. Somebody from Jigawa said that the oil in Bayelsa belonged to them, and these same people who they consider as inferior to them is calling them to come for a meeting. What an insult! But if it was the governors of the Igbo states, the governors of the South state, and the governors of the Yoruba states coming together and say, we want to see the North, let's come, and they will come. They dare not say they won't come, they will come.
Because that it means that there's a unity now that is posing threats to the Northerners. You understand? Anytime Igbo people unite with this South region is kind of posing threats to the leadership of the Northerners. I think they will respect that. So that is exactly what you just said, sir. Honestly, you summarize everything, critically analyze what is going on in Nigeria. You know, one thing that you mentioned, that the Northerners are not clamoring for civilization. Why?
They don't want it. They are used to it. If you live in Northerners for the next 1,000 years, they are aspiring to be America. They don't want to go to school. Let me tell you something. I schooled in my first result was very bad, but I schooled again in Adamawa State. I had 7 distinctions in 1986. Understand me? What I was, me and one Igbo guy, we had the best result. But there's one guy that had 3 credits. The guy was rejoicing more than me. As I'm talking to you right now, about 6 or 7 years ago, the guy is Deputy Director Finance, Minister of Finance in Abuja. Whereas me, I did here sit down with one year share, they do online video for phone. Can you imagine? 3 credits. When I went to University of Maiduguri to go, because I had to write JAM 3 times, because the Federal Republic of Nigeria says because I belong to a particular region, I must score up to a certain score in JAM before I get admission. My first JAM, I got 214. Second JAM, 216. Then the third JAM, 264. Before I got admission into University of Maiduguri. When I was registering, I saw somebody in my former school who left the school with 2 credits. And I was asking him, where do you register GST 104? He said, no, he is not in his first year, he's in 3rd year. How manage? Me that got better result from him, I'm starting in year 1. He that graduated with 2 credits in secondary school, he's in year 3. Because there's what we call quota system, catchment area, remedial, where whatever you dish out from secondary school, you go to university and you just enter like that. So you understand me?
There is this northern privilege in Nigeria. So when you are a northerner, you are privileged. Is that what is going on in the country? You know,
he's even in our state. He's even in our state.
Northern privilege. Because
our own is not as bad as that. Our own is not as bad as the one in the north. Let me tell you, in the same Department of Accountancy, University of Maiduguri, where I schooled, I registered with somebody that scored 167 as first batch. 167. There's nowhere in the south where you score 167 and study accounting in the south. Nowhere. It's not possible. But first batch, then third batch, I've seen somebody with 120. That is way below. It clearly shows that the person who wrote that in has scored 130 in an objective, because it's objective. It's a very dull person. They are graduating from our universities. And these are the ones that have that are occupying our House of Assembly, because as little as the education is, their community sees them as the best. They vote for them by virtue of the 1999 Constitution. And they are in the National House of Assembly. All they need to say those after. When I see, sorry, let me not take up your this thing. When I see our Southern brothers in the National Assembly, after speaking their English, speaking their Blingish, Mr. President, you see the macrocosm that suggests the undulating effect that circumnavigates the very abysmal nature of our disease. Clearly suppose the crackum. Then after I speak all those big English finish, all they simply do, those in favor say aye. The South will say aye. Those if you against say nay. The North will say nay. They say the nay. And all your book and all your this thing becomes nothing, because the North came by virtue of arranging Nigeria in such a way that the North have more representation in the National Assembly. So whatever English you speak amounts to rubbish, because the nays of the North will make your book useless. These are a group of 2 credit, 1 credit, pass, a failure, 3rd class. They are the ones, sometimes absolutely no school at all. You have seen senators and assembly that can't even speak English. They are there determining who you are. And look, we must realize that we are the ones who own these northerners, not them. We must change this narrative that suggests that they are above, they are up there, and we are down here. We are the ones who are up there. But because we are too preoccupied with greed, we are too preoccupied with personal hatred, we are too preoccupied with ethnic conflict, we are too preoccupied with seeing who is above, who is below. Amongst ourselves, while we do that, we create vacuum or spaces that the North sees, and they capitalize on it. When a Southerner in the National House of Assembly is speaking, you are watching it on TV. How many of his co-Southerners support him? They'll look at him. He's an Edo man, not my tribal man. When the Yoruba man is speaking, the Calabar says he's an Yoruba man. He's not from Calabar, he sees. But in the Hausa man, so long as in the north, so long as it's not, irrespective of whether it's Nupe, whether it's this, whether it's that, once he brings a motion and they say, what those in favor say aye, some of them didn't even hear it. Some of them were even sleeping when he was reading his motion. But because he's a northerner, okay, those people say aye, all of them say, those people say aye, aye, the ayes have it. And it's a law that will rule you. Because we refuse to be one. We refuse to be together. My sister, what I see, sometimes I regret living in the north. I wish I never grew up in the north. I wish I am there in the south so that I can be basking in this ignorance. You understand me? Basking in this, because what I see here is terrible. The answers that my friend is talking about, that was the biggest opportunity that God brought to us to change this government, because it wasn't planned. It wasn't planned. There was no leader. But from nowhere, one idiot, they call him Nnamdi Kanu, decided to put himself inside the picture so that they will notice him. Because if something continues to succeed and Nigeria is changed through NSAS and it doesn't involve Nnamdi Kanu, his popularity will die. He somehow put himself inside. Before you know it, we are not talking about NSAS. We are not talking about Wike versus Igbo, that Wike killed Igbos, Wike do this. And that was, it was Nnamdi Kanu that killed NSAS, period. Nnamdi Kanu killed NSAS. A protest that had no religious coloration, it had no ethnic coloration. It was only one religion, and the religion was change in Nigeria. Forget that we are saying NSAS. It wasn't about end police. It was about the government. We all, you know it. I know it. But that was about it. And this idiot just came from it that they should go. That he's one who said they should snatch the Oba. It is annoying. It's annoying.
I've been discussing about these northern leaders not encouraging education. For those who have been following me on Nebo TV, I've discussed about this topic so many times, that the northern leaders are not encouraging education, and these same people are ruling us in Nigeria. Why in most cases,
how do you want them to encourage education when during election all they need to do just tell these youths who are uneducated, say that if you allow good luck to succeed, they will say that we northerners are not good leaders. So try and spoil Good Luck Jonathan's government so that nobody will say that southern leaders are better than governor's leader. For the man who said that Good Luck Jonathan was there, he didn't talk about restructuring. Who told you? Did you want him to use the word restructuring before you know that it's restructuring that you want? For the first time, we have a southern president who came and organized a national confab. What was national confab? Let's discuss how we live together. Is it not the same thing as coming to discuss? For the first time, there was no fight, there was no argument, there was no something. That confab came and ended peacefully. Do you know why people are thinking that it's Buhari that refused to implement it? It wasn't Buhari, it was Obasanjo. Because of the national confab didn't capture specifically some of the yearnings of the Yoruba nation. Therefore, Obasanjo refused to support it. But it was a meeting that everybody came, including Yorubas, and agreed that this is what this is how we will live, and if we live like this, we are going to be in peace. Forget that whether it was named restructuring or not, but the truth is that there was actually sitting down and discussing how we will live. Who were the ones who fought against our own? Was it not the same Southerners, Obieze Kusili, Oshomole, that man from Rivers State, governor, former governor of Amechi? Who were those who fought? Who were those who made sure that Good Luck Jonathan was seen as a weakling? Was it not the same us? It was not the same us. The North were busy pushing us. How can the governor of the richest state in Nigeria be the one to take the wealth of the South to sponsor a northerner against his own brother? For whatever reason you have, for whatever animosity, for whatever grievances you have, you carry wealth. I'm trying to think that a governor of a state in the North will use the finances of the North to sponsor a southerner against his own brother. They will burn him, kill him, burn his house, roast all his family for daring that. But it happened. You saw it. What kind of stupidity is bigger than that? You took your personal grievances and sacrificed the interest and future and destiny of our region for purpose of your personal grievances with Good Luck Jonathan. If Good Luck Jonathan was in power, with Fulani have been raiding your state. If Good Luck Jonathan was in power, with Fulanis have been raiding any place in the South. But they are the ones in power. There is a synergy between the bandits and the government in power. Because if you arrest them, you take them to a police station, they will free them.
Yes, exactly. That's what is going on.
You take them to power.
They compensated them with money. You said
my sister, you see, sometimes I talk about this issue, I get so emotional.
Yes. The governor of Kaduna the other time, Nasiru Arufai, came on national TV saying that the federal government offered a financial compensation to Fulani herdsmen.
He's the one sponsoring Boko Haram.
To stop the
He's the one sponsoring Boko Haram. The governor of Kaduna State, Arufai, is the one sponsoring Boko Haram.
Nigeria
is the one sponsoring Boko Haram, period. The idea of Boko Haram, let me tell you what Boko Haram is doing. If they tell you that the government will stop Boko Haram today, it's a lie. The whole idea of Boko Haram killing people in the north is to tell you that Boko Haram, they'll tell you that Boko Haram is killing everybody. It's not only you, it's a national problem. When you accept it in your mind that it's a national problem, you end up perpetuating their existence. The truth is that Boko Haram is established to put this fear in you. Right now, we are afraid. Everybody's afraid. We are confused. The Igbos are setting their own securities. The Yorubas are setting their own security. But let it come a day, let it be my lifetime, that the Yorubas, the Edos, and the Igbos, the whole of that south region comes together that, oh, we are setting up a security outfit that guards the whole of the southern region. Not south-south, not southeast, not southwest, south-south. It will put the north, because the north knows that they can't fight the whole of the south region. It's not possible. They can't. But what is sustaining this their mischief? What is sustaining this their mischief is our inability to cohere, our inability to come together and fight a common purpose.
Of course, yes.
Rather, we have people like the Biafra agitators. You are peddling Biafra to us, citing Fulani invading our village, when in truth, inside your Biafra agitation, there's another secret agenda you are hiding behind it that suggests if in the event we succeed with Biafra, Igbos will be at the top. We are not children. This thing is visible. You see it in black and white. And we are telling you that you can sell that to the illiterates in the north, but not to us. With all this white hair, at the age of 54, and you think you can just pull a wool over my eye and sell a Biafra crap to me, it won't work. But bring an agenda that attached itself to the interest of everyone, and you see the North collapse. That's all.
Lord. Sir, you have summarized everything. Honestly, this is awesome. Mr. Lucky Etinosa, go ahead. What do you think about this process of a restructuring of Nigeria? Do you think it will work for the country? The northern leaders, would they accept this restructuring of the country?
As far as we are divided, there is no proper unity, particularly this so-called South-South and South-East. The margin of is getting bigger every day. We can no longer sit down.
And to restructure too, we must also change this narrative that suggests that we must have to wait for the North to agree. It has always been there right from independence. When we want to get independence, they said they are not ready. We practically have to wait for them.
We have a northern leader right now. The federal government is under the auspices of the northern leader.
We don't need to wait for them. I am not encouraging violence. The Niger Delta, all this oil, when they were bombing all these pipes, it drew their attention that they were left with no choice to come and discuss. The same thing, if we are able to push our youth together, put them together and push them out, they will come down and listen to our demand. And most of these certain leaders will not realize.
I'm with you. I am supporting you here. If you push this youth out, you see, pushing youth out without an ideology is an effort in futility. You must push these youth out and let them know that, look, the reason why they are going out is because they've come into the understanding that, look, they are the kings of the North, not the other way around.
Yeah.
They are the one. How can I be the one feeding you and I'll be doing yes sir to you? Does it make sense?
Yes, sadly. It doesn't really make sense. But
how can I be the one feeding you, paying your salary? Without me, you will not get a monthly subvention. Yet you said I will be irrelevant in the Nigerian political system because you are giving me 13% derivation. It makes no sense. Absolute no sense. You understand what I'm saying? And anytime we had the opportunity to rule, they set up a machinery to make sure that they paint us black. And it grieves me, it pains me when I see our youth, Southern youth, falling so cheaply for the narrative that these people sell to you. Now that Buhari is as dull, as clueless as he is, as useless as he is, you will see people say they will blame everything but Buhari. They will say, no, it is his advisors. No, it is this. No, it is that. Was it not the House of Representatives that invited Buhari recently? And he turned it down. Eventually, it's the House of Representative that's apologizing to Buhari for doing the mistake of inviting him. If it was a Southerner and the Southerner refused to come, it is me and you that will use this our English, that is a curse on us. Use this English to say, well, it is preposterously injurious and insulting to our political psyche for the Federal Republic, for the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to disseminate and disseminate us by refusing. It makes no sense. You should know that this Western education is what is killing us because we like to view issues from an intellectual perspective. But Nigerian politics has nothing to do with intellect. It is dirty, it is evil, it is muddy. If you want to play this politics with the North, like my sister said, they are bloody. If you want to play with them, they play it as dirty as they play it. Leave this English and face it the way they do it. Stop this big in grammar. Yes. You must face it as dirty as they are. If your own is bad, hold on. If your own is bad, say your own is good. That's what they do. Yeah. If your own is bad, say your own is good. If you want to discuss how bad your own, put off the mic, put off the live broadcast, and then we discuss it privately. Then it will be between me and you. But I won't be in public space discussing how bad my own is because they will never do it.
Yeah, Mr. Raka.
Because in the northern region, they are not civilized. We don't have, that is what you just said before, that they don't encourage education in the northern region. Those who are not educated are not conscious of what is going on in the country. So how can they criticize when you are not educated? What do you know? You can't read, you don't know what is going on. So that is why,
of course, now, but if you want to match them, if you want to fight them now, they said, like I know say this my sister know they watch Chinese film, but this big head I know say they watch Chinese film. Now you know that they say in order to destroy a ninja, you have to be a ninja. Abi, you've heard that statement before.
Yes.
So if you want to fight the North in their game, you have to think like them and behave like them in order to be able to destroy them.
So that
they're not following the rules.
Yeah,
they're not following the rules.
Mr.
They're not
Raka.
following the rules.
Mr. Raka, sorry, I want to tell you something. That is why I was trying to reflect our partner, but I will not do that because you don't buy that idea, bringing it out. The truth of the matter,
I don't. I'm not party to that.
I would like to tell my sister here. We have to think of solution, even if we have recognized.
Yeah, of course, we'll end this broadcast with solution, of course.
Solution for me is how we do. Yeah, because we have to unite. Without unity, there is no way we are going to defeat these people. You cannot expect our people to be like this.
I totally support that.
Yes, I agree.
You understand? Yeah. You can never expect our people to also reason like their people and behave like their people, seeing what is wrong and
I am not saying reason like them. I didn't say we should start behaving like idiots like Northerners, but I'm saying that if we must engage them in this political game, you understand me? Yeah. Because the only way you can understand how they think is if you start thinking like them. But if you want to bring down this Hausa man with this your suit and big English, you just become an entertainment to them like your brother Patrick Agawa. Go away, that man that speaks the big English in the Senate. You just go down and you speak, and they will be taking to themselves. Shege one and damn broba kai ya iya turanci fa ama wawane kai wallahi pansa mutung ya iya turanci ama shege ne. You become an entertainment to them. My brother, you're my brother. You're my brother. I will not lie to you. If I'm going to lie to anybody, it's not you. I know 54 years is not 54 weeks. It's not 54 days. I am 54 years. I was born October 21, 1966. So believe me, I I can't spend all those years here, and I'm telling you what I know about these people, how to defeat them, and then you are saying no, you cannot think like them. You've been using this book since 1960. Have you defeated them?
No way.
Have you?
No, not
so we must change our tactics. The tactics we need to do is that all those of us like me who know these people very well, we should bring them and take one or two. You cannot deny the fact that from the way I'm talking, you should know that I know these people very well.
Yeah.
You can't deny that.
You
understand me? Do you know the mistake of let me make an exception. Do you know the mistake of Goodluck Jonathan? Since you are itching, his mistake is one, and that's the mistake you do. That's the mistake my sister do. That's the mistake every Southerners do. His mistake was that he thought that every Northerner who went to school and becomes a professor will not think like the Almajiri man that sells sugarcane on the street. That's his mistake. That's why he believes Sambo. Sambo is a doctor, an academic doctor. Jega is a professor, an academic professor. So he believed that if these people like them have studied and have education up to a professorate, they will not behave stupidly. That was why he trusted them. But at the time when it became, they were sold to the fact that they are to protect the interests of the North. They all behave like Almanjiris. Jega behaved like an Almanjiri. This behaved like an Almanjiri. If he knew that these people are like that, he would not have taken that road. But it's a learning process. So we should take it that it's a learning process where we had one of our own who became power, and these were his mistakes. This was what he did and thought was this. Now, if we have somebody else, we encourage that, the person that came before you did like this, This was what he got as a report back. So correct the mistake here and get what we want. Any person you put as president today will not give us better because the foundation of our unity has not been established. If you put an Edo man today, he will go there as an Edo man. If you put an Igbo man today, he will go there as an Igbo man. If you put a Yoruba man today, he will go there as a Yoruba man. We need a president that will go there and think as a Southerner. We need a deputy senate president that will think as a Southerner. We need a senate president that will think as a Southerner. Yes. We need a governor that will think as a Southerner. All these governors, all this leadership, they are microscopically reasoning in an segmented and compartmentalized ethnical reasoning. Shake it to English Twitter of me. So, but jokes apart, that is just our bane. We need to get these people to begin to think broader. A lot of our politicians have a very narrow-minded political ideology. They are unable to expand. So people like me and you, with our forum, we should help them to expand their political ideology, to include and transcend these myopic ethnic cleavages, so that we can move forward. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying that our politicians are bad. They are very, very bad. But I will not dedicate a position to affirm the North what they want us to believe. They want us to believe that we are poor at leadership, and then I'll stay in a public forum to ascertain their alleging that we are poor at leadership. I won't do that. Now you are able to, you want to begin to exercise your intellectual prowess in analyzing issues. That is because you are not privileged to know these people. If you know them as I do, you would even, in fact, you will say our dog in our village can be a better. They said it now that the worst politician in the North is better than the best graduate in the South. They said it. They are not interested, and they are basking in this. They are basking in these inanities because we allow them. We have refused to know our strength, and because we are not in tune with our strength, they are willing to bask in these inanities and continue to. Who says we can't change the 1999 Constitution tomorrow? Who said so? All we need is a resolution. We need to be resolute. When we say we want this, if all the governors come together after their meeting, they read a communique to the northern governor and say, look, we are tired and we cannot go with this 1999 Constitution, and any means possible we want this. If Nigeria is willing to go to war, so be it. It's because when they cry war, we show them that we are afraid. We show them that we are not willing. Tell them that if they want to bet in the mud, we'll bet with the mud. If they want blood, we give them blood. If they want bullet, we give them bullet. Let them see that we are also ready for violence. Let them see that we can give them equal and opposite violence as they pretend to give us. They will calm down. All this issue of we coming here, you shave your head, you look fine like this. Tell them that this is your fine face. You are ready to dirty it to get your freedom. Forget all this nonsense where they call you the knack big English. Which English? I'm not ready for that nonsense.
Thank you, Mr. Raka. Make we let our sister continue. Make it direct us most moment we wrap up or make more contribution because I'm ready to go.
Honestly, yeah.
I'm the show, but the real truth is that what we need.
Our leaders have failed us quite okay, but let's not discuss how they failed us. That's just
Yeah,
they failed us. They failed us.
They failed us. But you don't want us to discuss about the weakness of the certain
on this level.
No. You know what we are trying to say here? That the certain leaders are not firm enough in their demands. The other time they were demanding for restructuring of Nigeria, we are happy. However, there's no action attached to the demand. If you are demanding for a certain thing, with the situation of Nigeria now, the insecurity in the country, and the police is under the federal government, restructuring of Nigeria will shape the security of the country. And the leaders are not firm enough in their actions. So that is why we were trying to blame them for the situation of the country for not resisting the northern leaders. We can't deny the fact that the federal government is under the auspices of a northern leader, President Muhammadu Buhari. You know, these people, they are very collective, just like what you said earlier, that these people, the unity among them, it makes them very, very strong.
They are politically very intelligent.
Yes, in decision making in the country. So the certain leaders should do the same thing. And the Igbos,
now you are speaking my language.
Yes,
it's as simple as that. You have summarized it. Simple. Yes. You have simplified it.
So that is what we were trying to say, that the certain leaders, they need to unite, just the way the northern leaders are uniting to demand for restructuring of Nigeria. Like our governor the other day was also complaining about not having the power to control
I'm with you.
You understand? Well, let me just mute this noise a little bit. The noise in the background. You understand, Mr. Lucky? Yes, he was complaining that he cannot mobilize security to provide security for citizens in the country, in the state, I mean, and their properties, because the police and the security operatives are all under the federal government. So that is why we are demanding for restructuring of Nigeria. But those who are supposed to be in the forefront of pressing for this restructuring are very weak in their demands. That is why we are trying to criticize them a little bit, for them to be, we need their help and support in this quest for restructuring of Nigeria. You understand?
Yeah, but I would like to throw something there. The question is, who will bear the cat? These guys are there for their purse. Now they are afraid of their life. They don't trust. Don't trust maybe one Igbo man from the east. The east man don't trust the farmer. The river man don't trust a common. The Yoruba, you see, this is the key, like what Oraka said. Oraka be saying this thing. That is why when Oraka was the one who convinced me to be part of IPOB for years. You understand me? So it convinced so many. Yeah.
I'm sorry,
from the one. Right from the one. I have one view.
Sister, let me really tell you, Oraka voice was able to convince so many Benin people, but in a positive manner, believing that there will be room for us to sit down and engage some certain issues and interests. You understand me? But it gets to a point, like the other guy, you were trying to invite, like wounded civilian. Wounded civilian, his zone was very tough. It's not easy for somebody to be going. Have you heard of it before? Going to marketplaces. This one is not online. He went to market in Benin. When so many people saw him conversing for Biafra. That was when some Igbo guys.
I went to my village to convert people to Biafra, my own village.
So for me, I have been a friend of Igbo right from my life. So it's very unfortunate that we have to be very careful, so that again we shouldn't play so the mindset of so that we don't think this one is bad or this one is bad. Let us try to put our differences together and create a way we can still engage ourselves, because this is the only possible way forward.
But
this is what
okay, Miss Obasege, Miss Obasoge, Miss Obasoge, look, the solution to our region, it may surprise you. It's in the hands of the Igbo people. It's in the hands of the Igbo nation. The only thing that we are waiting for them to do is to come down that their high horse. This idea that they are born supreme, they are born above people they perceive as minority, seniority. They should actually start the process of negotiation and consultation. And not just negotiation and consultation, they should start it with an open arm. Let's see that they are indeed sincere. You understand me? So that we can begin to factor, not the type of IPOB. When this guy said I converted to IPOB, I wasn't canvassing for IPOB. I was canvassing for a union between Igbos and their neighbors.
And that was my understanding. But under the umbrella.
You see, listen, but a lot of them misunderstood.
Were you supporting the secession of the Biafrans or what?
No, I wasn't. Okay. I wasn't.
People who are watching right now will be thinking, oh, are you trying to support the Biafrans for this their quest for secession? You understand? So that is why you have to clarify us.
In fact, the reason why I'm at loggerhead with IPOB today is because they found out that I wasn't supporting Biafra. I was actually supporting a union between Igbos and their neighbor. I have watched any of my video. I have never mentioned Biafra in my mouth. And Biafra, that word, if you say you see one video where I mention Biafra, I will sell my wife, even if it's 200 naira, I'll give you that 200 naira.
Yeah.
If you see any video where I mention that I'm Biafra, you see, but while I was doing that, they misunderstood my intention for an ethnic unity as support for Biafra.
Oh,
that was the mistake. And because they already have me in the kitty, because they've already been able to convert me, I should start showing signs that yes, I am now one of them. First, I should not begin to disown my identity and say I'm no longer Urobo, I am Igbo. And I told them no.
Let's try to leave that up a little bit. Why I decided to throw it that something in is because of I myself at the beginning I was a full supporter of IPOB. So that word Biafra, or maybe I was referring to that IPOB most especially with a view of putting everybody together. Yes. You understand me? So that we can have strength, because we have a lot in common. But it's very unfortunate. You understand me?
But it's very from where the Southwest, the Yorubas, the Igbos, everybody together. In the
Yorubas have no problem. Yorubas have no problem.
Yorubas, look, for example,
they don't have a problem.
To invite a Yoruba today and let us discuss, I think the door is always open 100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the real problem we are having is that there is too much loggerhead between South-South, South-East, and the entire ethnic people.
No, we don't need that in Nigeria. All this discussion about the Yorubas, you don't know. Let's just demand for restructuring of Nigeria. Forget about the IPOB.
When you say let us demand for restructuring, the question I ask is when and who are we waiting before we demand for the restructuring? Because we seem to think that a lot of people saying that we need restructuring, we seem to think that the North, we are waiting for the North to now say, okay, let's discuss restructuring. They will never agree for restructuring. They will never give you a time. They will never wait. So all we need for the North to agree to restructure, because their fear is that they are way behind in terms of academics. They are way behind in terms of intellectual endowment. They are way behind in terms of exposure. That is why today, in terms of commerce, they are not contributing. In sports, they are not contributing. In recreation and entertainment, they are not contributing. Virtually every facet of life, they are not contributing. So if we say we should restructure and every region should contribute a certain percentage of their earnings to the center, since in the former Nigeria, they are not contributing because they are not producing. For you to contribute, you have to produce. So they've not been producing. Everything we know them to produce before independence, like the granite pyramid, onions, hides and skin. These are people that we built textile factories in their region. They killed it. Today, there is no textile industry that is surviving in the north. We gave them Leonards and Leventis, a shoe manufacturing company that is supposed to supply the whole of Africa with shoes. Both company is dead. Instead of using hides and skin to produce shoes, they are now in our market in the form of pomo. It is now an edible that we eat. You understand me? They produce onions, they produce tomatoes. We are supposed to have tomato paste and tomato company here, but it's not, because they don't believe in production. They believe in exploiting from the weak. And we have presented ourselves to them as weak, that they can actually come to our region, take our wealth, and go away with it, and we won't talk.
Okay.
That is how they see us.
This restructuring of Nigeria can be actualized if the Southern leaders unite. You understand, in one voice. I like the Igbos.
The way we can encourage
their secession, their quest for secession, and we should come together. But one thing we should be cognizant of is that not all Igbos are demanding for secession.
That's true.
That. Not all Igbos. I would say not even up to 40% Igbos are demanding for secession in Nigeria. So we should not be afraid of that, because the Biafrans are agitating for secession, it will hinder our quest for restructuring of Nigeria. Majority of Igbos don't want
what
to.
What we will do, I must put it before I forget.
Yeah.
Before this thing, I said I was going to put it. You see, we must encourage the North to tell the North that, look, we are going to do this restructuring, because if the wealth had been in the north, you guys would not have agreed. Like in recent examples where you have the gold in Zamfara, there are already indicators that shows that you are not going to share this gold with us.
With anybody.
With anybody. So it clearly shows that you are greedy and you are unwilling to share. So we are going to restructure this country. But what we can do to you is that in the next 10 years, the other regions will contribute a certain percentage, let's say 10% of their wealth to you, and the wealth will go to you as a development fund, so that you can use this percentage to build yourself in terms of infrastructure, education, health, to put yourself in a position where you can now, after 10 years, we can now leave you to be self-sustaining. Look, it is because they are so used to the fact that they don't need to work. That's why they don't read. That's why they don't practice. That's why they don't learn skills. Because why learn? Why go to school when you can simply go to National Assembly and make policies that will take money to your region without doing anything? If you are in their shoes, you do the same thing. But we are saying that the time is up. You have done this thing for too long, and it's time it's stop. And it's because of this fact that they believe that they can take money without working for it. That's why they are giving births anyhow. Even rats cannot compare in the way they give birth. So you must tell them, because you cannot expect a man who sells sugarcane and is telling you he has 8 children, whereas me that has wealth, that has innate and external wealth, have 2 children. It makes no sense. It only means that in another 50 years, the product of this ineptitude and deficiency will take up the space that allow my own children with proper education to express themselves. That cannot continue. So we must take their fears as a reasonable fear and promise them that in this restructuring, we are going to contribute a certain percentage as developmental contribution to the North, so that you can sustain yourself after 10 years and build. You can't keep having your way all the time. When Nigeria want to have independence, you said you are not ready. The whole of the country waited for 3 years.
Sir,
just to
one thing I think is affecting the northern region of Nigeria is this lack, let's say, high level of illiteracy in the northern region.
They are the one perpetuating this illiteracy. Yes. They are encouraging. They are deliberately encouraging the illiteracy.
So
They are
how
not making any effort.
illiteracy is playing a major role in shaping the poverty and lack of awareness in the northern region of Nigeria. So is there any way that the government can regulate education in the north? I live in Canada.
They won't regulate education. They won't.
Every child here is supposed to be in school in certain hour.
They won't regulate. If you have a northern youth that is educated, you are creating a youth that will grow up and know his rights. A youth that will ask questions. Why is it that it's only your family that is getting money, while my family remains poor? Because the Western education will teach the youth on how to be capitalist, on how to be self-sustaining. So when they grow up, they will ask the bourgeois, why is your family rich? Your children are going to the best schools, whereas my own children are going to Almajiri schools. Your own children don't attend the same Almajiri that you say it is necessary that my children attend. Why is your own kid not attending it? So they will start asking questions. So in order that we have the voting population keep proliferating, so that we can have them completely enmeshed in that sector of the oligarchic north, they will not encourage education, because education is the only thing that will scatter that oligarchic arrangement. In fact, suggesting education to the north now is like a direct affront to the system that is origin. I told you that a typical poor man in the north that sells sugarcane is comfortable that he's selling sugarcane and wants to sell sugarcane for the rest of his life. Didn't you see that a governor in the north?
Oh, these people just have little dignity in their life.
No, they don't have it. They don't have it. A governor in the north, in trying to alleviate poverty, bought 5,000 shoe shining equipment to distribute to his youths. Is that a governor that wants his youths to become senators and scholars and scientists and developers and multi-businessmen? 5,000 shoe shining equipment. That means you are employing 5,000 of your youth to go and be shining shoes.
Oh,
it happened here in the north. So we cannot continue to wait for the north to accent to our demand for restructuring, because they will never do that. So we have this guy wants, Mr. Lucky wants to talk. Let him talk.
So my whole point of view, if we want to consider these people to be illiterate, I strongly believe we are making a very huge mistake. It depends on how we want to interpret the word.
Very true.
The word illiterate here. Politically, based on their affiliation to their religion, they have some basic literate life. Although we may not value that kind of system of education, most of those are Majiri. There are ways they can read, there are ways they can write. Based on the RIT, they can understand. Let me just put it.
This guy don't watch my video.
You understand me? So these same guys, these same people, politically, they are very intelligent. They have strategy. Imagine the military guys, when they were unable power, they decided to write constitution for people, civilians, PhD holders from the south, and everybody. They throw it to us.
It's the unity that is prevailing in the northern region of Nigeria.
No, the military guys, they are not well educated. If they are level of all those guys that give power, but when it comes to politics, because they are very literate, so they were able to give us this constitution. Now that constitution is now an obstacle to develop our country. So as we are still saying, we shouldn't be considering that these guys, they don't know anything. Based on their levels, as Oraka said, he said they are happy with the way they accepted it. You see it now. So for we in the South that reject this kind of life, that is not happy with the way, that rejected this kind of life, and that are not happy with the way things are being run in Nigeria's affair, we must think of ways to be able to dribble these people, now realizing that their only interest is to rule, not to develop the country. So we must look for a strategy. And at the same time, our people are becoming so cheap for them to buy. Exactly. So they even make publicly that our people are very easy for them to convince with little things. If you promise their position, okay, they will come there to come and serve you. And that's what they are doing now. What we are going to pray for is that if we are not able to, push our people out, in the next election, God should give us someone that is wise enough to understand that Nigeria is not working for the Southerners and is not going to work if we continue like this. And the only possible way out is restructuring. But it's very painful that we Southerners, we have a lot in common, but we cannot build on those things that connect us and unite together a demand for what really belongs to us. Some people are demanding, but their strategy is also causing division. And that is why it's not fruitful. You get what I'm saying?
Okay, so let's summarize.
I have just 5 minutes. I have 5 minutes more to stay. So
okay,
if we can wrap up the next 5 minutes.
Thank you very much. I'm grateful for your contribution.
Yes, let me just quickly summarize today's show. So we are saying here that in order to restructure Nigeria, the certain leaders should unite, speaking in one voice, and demand for restructuring of the country, especially the issue of insecurity going on in the country right
please,
now.
When you say southern leaders, please specify. Is it south leaders or southeast leaders or
okay,
every?
When I say certain leaders, I'm referring to the south leaders, the southeast, the southwest, the Yorubas, the Igbos, the south region, the Ijaws, the Delta, the Edos, everybody uniting, because right now Nigeria politically is divided into two regions, the northern and the southern region. The northern region will be the middle belt and the northern region of Nigeria. They are, when it comes to decision making politically, you see that the middle belt we prefer to join the north. So while we decide, the Yorubas, the Igbos, like what I just said, the South region, the Ijaws, everybody should also unite and make sure they demand for this restructuring of Nigeria. With the division that is prevailing in the southern region right now, it's a kind of a barrier to this the progress of a restructuring of Nigeria. So, and the Igbos, when we are saying that the Igbos are agitating for secession, not all Igbos. I guarantee you, not even up to 40% of Igbos are agitating for secession in Nigeria. Some Igbos don't just want to involve themselves with this idea of secession in the country. So let's look at the Igbo leaders that are not agitating for secession. They can as well participate in this quest for restructuring of Nigeria. Otherwise, if we don't unite in the southern region of Nigeria, there is no way, because right now the federal government is under the auspices of the northern leader, President Muhammadu Buhari. Because of the unity among the northern leaders, all the whole northern leaders are all supporting President Muhammadu Buhari. So in order for us to succeed, because this quest for secession in Nigeria is is impossible. It will never be actualized. So I know that some groups are these days, because of the situation of the country, many groups are coming out agitating for secession, but it's not possible. It's not going to happen in Nigeria. We are not going to divide. The only solution to Nigeria is restructuring of the country. Thank you all for your participation today, and we have to end this show like this. Next time we'll continue again with the same topic, the restructuring of Nigeria, but we'll look at it from another perspective. Thank you all. Mr. Araka, thank you so much for your eloquence.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
History, the participation is awesome. The comic part of it, you are so funny. Please. You are so funny. Mr. Tinosa, I will thank you for introducing Mr. Oraka to me. Honestly, when I saw your picture the other day, yesterday, oh, I was stunned. I said, wow, this is tough. This show is gonna be tough today. So everything, yeah. So thank you so much for your participation, Mr. Lucky Tinosa. Thank you. I think we'll come back again to discuss it by Edo State. I'm not leaving right now. If Mr. Tinosa, if you want to join the Edo State discussion, we want to discuss about Governor Obaseki and Oshomole. Recently, Oshomole made a comment that is very controversial. I think you are aware of the comment when he said that he's going to treat Governor Obaseki like Imo State, what happened in Imo State. You understand? So many Edo people are not very happy with such statements. He's kind of posing threats to the leadership of Governor Obaseki. So we're going to discuss about that. Some people contacted me that they are coming to the show to discuss about the politics in Edo State politics. So thank you, Mr. Oraka, and we'll come back.
Anytime you have anything that has to do with understanding not psychology, not political psychology.
Yeah.
Just call me.
I'm right. Few weeks ago, I discussed about the northern leaders. I never lived in the north before, but with what I've been reporting on this Nebo TV, I was able to figure out the perception, their mindset in the northern, their psychology in the northern region of Nigeria, that they don't encourage education because they want to use all these people as their political machineries. It's like only the children of the emirs, the children of the governors are attending schools in the northern region. So they are not encouraging education. I said the same thing I said. So when you were explaining, I said, wow, which means I was right in my analysis on Nebo TV. Thank you so much, sir. And I will bring you back to